Well, last week was supposed to be the return to video, but we learned after recording that my camera decided to, oh, I don't know, think it was special and turn itself off after 14 minutes of recording.
Got too hot. Just kidding. I have no idea what happened.
No idea either. So we're keeping an eye on it for this recording. So if things seem to jump around at points, that's why. Yeah, not sure what happened there. But anyway, I guess this is actually the return to video and return to where my head isn't large and in charge, covering the entire screen and cut off and everything else like that.
Hopefully.
So, hi, welcome. I'm glad I can see everybody, or you can see me again. Uh, Still, if you want to hear Aaron do karaoke,
No.
let us know.
Nope. Y'all don't want to. No.
Yeah,
Mm-mm.
let's do some Aaron karaoke.
Mm.
It's only fair I do karaoke too, then, if that happens, but we'll see.
We'll see.
I
Okay.
love Aaron's like, right, okay.
If I'm doing it,
We'll get Peter and Jonah to do it as well.
all they do in a heartbeat.
I know
They already have to do vocals in front of people anyway.
Yeah. Maybe this will convince you to do vocals.
No.
I'm sure there's a worship leader I can contact who she would be like, "Oh, Aaron's doing vocals. Okay."
I sent her a message the other day.
Oh, yeah?
I did.
And what was this message entailing?
Do you do any like vocal like coaching or teaching, or do you know of any like people, or is there anything you'd recommend? Yeah.
Yeah, what she was
I
all
almost
excited, wasn't she?
maybe.
What'd she say?
She's like, I do. Well, and then also said, but I also do know like other like probably have like some like recommendations or whatever. But I was just like, I don't know. Thinking about it, but
All right.
I don't know, man. It doesn't help right now because my voice is poopy.
Well,
Not that it normally isn't, but
that's okay. Life goes on.
yes, it does.
All right, so that's something to look forward to is Aaron premiering his debut song, because he is doing his new group, AJ and Friends.
What?
Never mind. Remember that was a joke from a couple recording sessions ago.
Oh, I might. I had to refresh me. I forgot what shirt I was wearing today already. So
Yeah, that is true. That is true, but whatever, regardless of that.
yes,
So it is, as of this recording, September 30th.
correct.
It is second to last day
Of ArtPrize.
of ArtPrize.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, the 1st, is the last day of ArtPrize,
Mm.
which is kind of interesting that we're talking about it when we were there opening day.
Yeah.
So
Well,
our prize, well, we were there on Thursday. We didn't necessarily go see stuff on Thursday, but we were there.
We saw the fun little like fireworks show opening up for it. It was
Yeah.
pretty cool. Which that was a pretty cool fireworks show.
So for those of you unaware and like, wait, our prize, fart prize, what's this going on? What are you talking about?
Plenty of that.
Okay. Art Prize is an international art competition. And as my coworker said, he goes, Paul, you're so cultured. I didn't realize. I was like, I don't know if I should take this as a compliment or not. I'm
Of
not 100% sure.
course.
Yeah. I was like, yes? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Anyways, so we went to, this is our second time going to Art Prize. We've gone before.
Mhm.
The first time was 5 years ago. I looked
Yeah.
according to photos, and we went this year again. It was a fun time. So the first night we got there just in time, literally for the fireworks show
Mhm.
for the night, and then we kind of putzed around downtown a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
Had the allergies just rip me apart.
Yep. Which then ended up with us at Meyer. Blah 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 blah. but it was
almost spending a ton of money on what the whatever Claritin D, whatever stuff.
yeah, Claritin D, which you if you look at the brand of Claritin D, it is quite expensive for what it
Yeah.
is, and then you buy the off-brand version,
Mhm.
and the less pills you buy in the off-brand are more expensive than the higher count.
I asked work about that, and he said, "Did you check the expiration dates?" Because he said if it's past, like, or either close to or past an expiration date, he said they can sell them for cheaper. I was like, "Huh,
I did not check the expiration dates,
well, neither
but
did
the
I."
fact that all of them, not just part of them, all of them were priced that way is the interesting
Well,
part.
that all that was there, yeah.
So, I'm sure if we went to the main shelves, they'd be the same prices. That's how Meijer is. Just Meijer is weird.
I don't know.
That's
I'm just
just
glad I got a lot more for a lot less.
fair enough.
I didn't realize how expensive that stuff is.
Oh, yeah. I mean, you're paying $1 a pill for the name
Well, Claritin
for the
Claritin.
Claritin
Well,
brand.
yeah, yeah,
So, yeah, it gets quite expensive real quick,
yeah, it
and
does.
why do I'm sure the Claritin company, once it went off of prescription, was very happy
Mm,
because
I
then they didn't have
suppose.
to negotiate with, you know, all those insurances. They could just be like, "Mm, no, we can just sell it
Over the counter.
over the counter and say this is the price and everyone pays that price."
Mm,
So that's
money making.
yep,
Mm,
that's how it is, unfortunately.
mm,
Why are you going, "Hmm,"
mm. It's just thieves.
just thieves?
Yeah, no,
Yeah, our prize, it was good time.
yeah.
Like I said, we got there just in time for fireworks night. Why are you going,
Got to park in the Ford parking lot with my Ford.
oh, yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
It was definitely one of those things of I just, because you saw like I don't know about you if you notice this, I people watch all the time. So I'm watching as everyone else is like there with their camera just recording the entire fireworks thing in there. I took 2 pictures the entire time of fireworks and that was it. And I felt bad for even doing that. Cause
I don't
because I
think
was like, man, I just want to enjoy the moment. But people were like sitting there going, ah, record the entire
yeah.
thing. I was like, no, 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 no. That's not how we're doing
The
it.
only thing I think I wish I would have taken a picture of was the bridge at the finale, uh, where they had, yeah, like I guess I don't even know what you'd call it, but how they had, I don't know what is that called, but where it's just like dropping, it's like a waterfall over the bridge of just the fireworks.
Yeah, I don't know exactly what you call it, but that
That
gives
was
you
really pretty.
a good imagery in your head of what it is. It literally was over the bridge, and it was
Yeah,
like a waterfall coming off of the bridge, but that "waterfall," quote, unquote, was all fireworks,
yeah, that was dope.
which is kinda cool.
Mhm.
But, then that was Thursday, and then Friday and Saturday was spent doing art. Friday, we spent some time at Meyer Gardens,
Mhm.
which we hadn't been there in 5 years, and so the last time we were there, they were still making the Japanese gardens,
That
and
was cool.
we got to see that this time.
That was neat.
Somehow I got my shoe stuck in my camera bag zipper. Don't know how I did that.
Yeah.
I
That was funny.
whatever, made it happen, made life go on, we're good. But that was definitely a thing of like, "Wait, what?"
How on earth? Um, Man, then I liked the face sucker pumpkins.
Oh, yeah. So I was actually gonna pull that up here.
Oh, nice.
So on my screen right now, there we go. I have it actually going to be recorded in my screen as well, so that way people can see it as well. Yeah, the face sucker
Oh.
pumpkins, literally
Yeah.
pumpkins that if you've ever watched the movie Aliens,
Yeah.
That's exactly what these look like. They look like they're about to jump up, latch onto your face, and suck it dry, and then impregnate you with a new alien. Because that's what the face suckers did.
That's yeah. Yeah, it is what they did. Yeah,
And they came in a
gross.
multitude of colors and everything else like that, and we found them in multiple locations too, which is kinda cool.
Yeah, they're kinda all over the place,
Yeah,
especially around the farm area.
yeah, and I talked to, some of our people, and they're like, "I've never seen pumpkins like that before," and I was like, "Me neither."
It was different.
Yeah, it was definitely different, but it was a good different, and it was a good time, just going around. Definitely some interesting spots in uh, the Japanese gardens. They had
Mm.
which, like, they had the Buddha statue head,
Oh, that was spooky.
which I have up on the screen right now.
And then there's, like, the, like, rounded I don't even know, like, the for those rocks or whatever, where it's just, like, they had the tops just kinda, like, rounded down, and it was like a ki what how would I do like, if you were to just, like, take the top of a Hershey's Kiss and just put it on top of a rock, almost.
I have it up on the screen for everyone else to see what you're talking about. Yeah, it looks like just like a okay, this sounds
That's a
gross.
much bigger point or yeah.
This sounds gross.
Uh-oh.
It looks like the boulder has a pimple that's about to burst.
Well, yep.
I told you it was a lot grosser.
Yep.
But that's what it reminds me of. It's like paging Doctor Pimple Popper, paging Doctor Pimple Popper.
Oh, no. I like this or I would think of, like, a sorry, like, game piece. I like that one more.
Okay, fair enough. I haven't,
But,
played Sorry enough to
no, it's just like the little I mean, it's literally, like, almost like a little Hershey Kiss thing, but actually, I guess the game piece has a little, like, ball on the top, so it doesn't whatever.
yep.
Whatever.
But yeah, so there wasn't and they weren't participating with our prize this year for whatever reason, so they didn't have any
Yeah, they
art
did.
did
I thought they had something in the or unless that was just some artist that they had their art displayed, but it
that was
was
just the art display. Because if it was part of
oh.
ArtPrize, it had to be free to go view that part. That was behind the admission.
Oh, that was behind admission.
Yeah. Because yeah, last time, like, our prize was extended all the way out to, like, Meyer Garden, which was kind of interesting because it was a ways down from downtown. Of course, this year also, as we learned, Art Prize, the original committee that created Art Prize dissolved of November 2022, and their new group came forward and created things, and that's now what we have with Art Prize.
Yeah.
So art is in the eye of the beholder, or so they say. But here is my thought on it. I'll give this thought as a summary, and then we'll
Oh,
go into it more. Okay.
okay.
I love how Aaron's like, wait, what? What's going on? Yes, art is in the eye of the beholder. Cool, whatever. Can make you feel different emotions. Oh, it makes me feel so happy, or whatever else. The snooty art fanatics will say. You know, if you've ever seen the show
Yeah.
Frasier,
Mm,
I think of people like that when I think of art critics. Have you ever
mm,
seen Frasier?
mm-mm.
Oh, man. Have you ever seen Cheers?
Ugh, not enough to know any, like, references of it.
Okay, so Frasier is a spinoff of Cheers
Okay.
because Frasier was a character on Cheers,
Okay.
and then he spun off, got his own TV show, and now they're doing a reboot of Frasier, continuing the story of Frasier as he moves back to Boston where Cheers started. So they're going full circle.
Whoa. Alright.
They're not going back to the Cheers bar, but, they're going back to the same town, blah, blah,
Mm,
blah. Anyways, if you ever watch the show, like him and his brother Niles,
mm.
they just sound like Niles just sounds like posh and proper.
Huh.
Um, but Niles and him are always like doing art critiques and wine tastings and all this stuff. And every time
Mm.
I see stuff like this, I think of those two like going around going, "Oh, this is an original da 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 da." Um, Art's in the eye of the beholder, but sometimes you're snooty about it. But anyways, back to what I was originally getting at. yes, art is in the eye of the beholder of if you like it or not, blah 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 blah. But I also think that, and this is my opinion, and Aaron can disagree, agree, have a different statement, however he wants to say it. But I also think that artists have a responsibility for the art that they make and that the message that it gives as well. And there's a couple examples I have specifically from ArtPrize that I'll bring up. But there's also quite a few cool things in ArtPrize as well that were just kind of cool overall that I like. That I was like, oh, this is nice and neat, and I would have it in my house if it didn't cost so many thousands of dollars because all of them were expensive as all get out.
Some rightly so. Some I would say not rightly
Yeah.
so.
The first piece that was quite entertaining to me, at least, was only because of the name of the artist that made it. The name of the artist was Andrew
Oh,
Peterson, and I sent it to our friend Andy, and I was like, "Hey, so I see." I was like, "I know it's not you, but are all Andy Petersons talented
in the arts somehow.
in the arts somehow?" In this case, it was
I'm trying to remember what that piece even looked like.
it's called, what was it called? Reverberations in Silence. It was oil on board was the medium, and it was like this lady staring at you from behind the
Uh,
painting. Big eyes, big eyes. I'm like disproportionately big eyes. I was like, whoa,
scary.
okay, lady. So I had that up on the screen there for people to kind of
Hmm.
see as well. All these pictures, and you can go, oh, that's a horrible picture. I know. I took it.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't expect them to be good.
No,
I'm not a natural framer like Aaron over here.
I'm not.
Aaron has natural framing abilities.
No,
I
I
keep trying to tell him this, and
don't.
he doesn't listen to me.
Nuh-uh. Yeah, actually, wait, no, you have.
Yeah, I know I have.
It's
But there were just some good pieces that stuck out to me. For example, the piece I have up on the screen right now, I don't have the name of it, but essentially it is this guitar
oh, okay.
where it was the
Uh-huh.
guitar going up and down, but in the bottom, it's like this, and I have it on the screen for people to see. So like the roots in this like floating island, and the top is that the top of a tree, and there's a house up there and everything. And it's kind of cool in and of itself. That being said, I then did one simple edit to that piece. Um, when I say edit in Lightroom, because all the pictures I took were in raw format, or basically I said, "Hey, do a little color swapping, do a little color
Mm.
filtering." And it took it from this nice bright piece, a lot of yellows, around the planet and that, and made it more dark with the orange behind the planets, and it made the stars on the painting pop out a lot more, and it even made the brick like just so much darker than what it really was in real life. And it was kind of cool. I enjoyed it. I was like, ah, this is what an artist feels like. I am not an artist. I am just one who enjoys the arts.
Appreciates.
As my coworker says, I didn't realize you're so cultured. And I'm gonna show him some of these pictures and remind him of his statement. He's a good guy. I've
Mhm.
lied.
Mm.
But yeah, there were a couple pieces that, either I remember because they were cool, or I remember because they were just odd.
Wacky.
For example, the one at the art museum that was plastered all around the art museum. Do you remember what that was?
Plastered all around the
Yeah,
art
like it
museum.
was all around the art museum,
Huh?
like in all the windows.
Oh, the I want you to
I
something
want
about
you
you,
to talk about your
but
feelings.
talk about your feelings.
And it's a three-eyed like Uncle Sam
It
staring at you and pointing at you.
I wouldn't say it's like some weird I don't know what it is.
Monster version of Uncle Sam, because the
Yeah,
nose is like a skeleton nose hole,
yeah,
and then it's like pointed teeth, but only a couple pointed teeth, and yeah, it's just weird. Uh,
yeah.
yeah, it's a weird one. I don't know was up with that, what they were thinking, but hey, whatever.
Talk about your
I want you to talk about
feelings.
your feelings. You have that one. You had the Dinosaurs in Modern Times art exhibit, like the Triceratops going against the forklift. What was it, the T-Rex at the gas station,
Eee, I like those ones.
the Bronchiosauruses near an airplane, which I have up right now on the
Mm,
screen. And it's like a downed airplane.
mhm.
You had the one that I posted on Facebook, and what's funny is we were at dinner on, the Wednesday after we got back, and I was like, "Hey, yeah, I like this one." I showed to Robin. Robin, our friend Robin was like, "I know, I've seen this somewhere before." And I was like, I posted on Facebook. She's like, "I saw it on Facebook." I'm like, "That's because I just posted on Facebook." That would be
That's
why.
funny. Nice.
Um, so it got posted there. She saw that, which is kinda cool because it wasn't just a thing that you would hang on a wall, it was also, like, you could put a kid at it and keep the kid busy for a while because it was an interactive maze that it was like this,
Oh,
relief,
I know what you're
a r
talking
like a
about.
relief topographical of, like, I don't know, somewhere, but I have it on the
Yep.
screen right now, but it's a maze that starts in the upper left-hand corner, ends in the lower right-hand corner. And I have the maze solution as well, just I haven't posted that yet.
People gotta figure it out.
And then we have the one that Robin liked, which was the Mad Hatter,
Of
which was
course.
kinda cool, but
Of course.
she likes the Mad Hatter, so
Yeah.
that makes perfect sense that she liked that, and I took a little video and sent it, and I was like, "Hey, here you go." Trying to think if there's anything else, like, wasn't that wasn't part of it that caused me to go, "Hey, we're responsible for art." Oh, I remember. The selfie,
Oh, that one was cool.
the selfie.
That was a good
I
one.
have that up on the screen right now. Um, yeah, that was just crazy good. There was a lot of details in that.
Oh, yeah. I can't
Um,
believe that was only, like, what, 20 grand?
Only 20 grand.
I mean, that's still a ton of money, but I can't help but compare it to the little paintings of like, a vase of flowers, and that was 5 grand. I was like, "Really?"
Yeah. And I have the selfie up here on the screen right now, and
Yes.
I kinda moved around it in the quadrants because it's
Mm.
actually composed of, like, 4 smaller,
It's
like,
like 4
panels,
canvases.
canvases, panels all together in one, and I was like, "Man," and there was like, "What camera does he have?" He was asking me because he was
Yeah,
trying to
because
be.
'cause you're the camera
I was
guy.
like, "A DSLR of some kind, I don't know. How should I know?"
He didn't put enough detail in there for you?
Yeah, it could be any sort of model, and also what year did you start painting it also determines
I don't know.
that thing as well. But yeah, he called it "Selfie on the Wall" by Diego Perez.
Yeah, that was good.
So, I was like, "Yeah," I was like, that was yes, that was good." And we had other things in there, like the, multi-hued colored skull, which I have up on the screen right now, that was a lot of orange and blue. Do you remember that?
Nope.
There was this animal skull that was painted in all sorts of hues of oranges and blues.
Hmm. Huh.
I got a couple angles on that one. I forgot what building that was in, and unfortunately, I didn't have my GPS. I don't have a GPS device attached to my camera yet. Notice I said yet. That'll be for the next time we go to ArtPrize. I'll have that
Mm.
because that will, definitely be something that'll be useful. Because then I don't have to go through and tag all the photos.
Oh, fair enough.
Because it's like, "Oh, look, I get to tag all my photos on where they were taken. Yay!"
Gotta do what you gotta do.
But no, in overall, there was just a lot of good art, a bunch of different mediums: sculpture, painting, oil, um, mostly non-interactive,
Yeah, the
but there was definitely some interesting ones. But the more, I guess you could say, intriguing ones, I haven't even brought up yet because I think, That'll be a lot of the conversation. So
Mm.
before we dive into this, on the ones that I kind of picked out and I have photos of and one even a video of. Why are you laughing?
Video one.
Uh-huh.
Body yaddy 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 yaddy.
Was there anything that stuck out to you that is still part of your memory of this event, this art prize?
Mm.
Was there anything that kind of was like, "Hmm," that caused Aaron to think or caused Aaron to go, "Huh?"
Well, definitely body yaddy 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 yaddy.
Okay, we'll get to body yada yada
Was
yada yada.
weird. Um,
100%.
yeah. Man, as far as the artsy stuff, I'm trying to remember what like my favorite one was in the first place. Oh, I thought the oh gosh, come on. All right. The Fintanium. Um, so it was basically the whole thing wasn't there. He had the like okay, let's see if I can even read right now. Was it is that oh woo! It's like the little metal things that he were changed due to different like voltage
Okay,
or
so
volts of yeah,
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because I have a photo of the various colors, but I also have a
yeah,
picture of the sculpture.
that thing. But was there another? Well,
No, there was a sculpture there.
there was.
Dude, that was like the info display block, and then
Yeah.
just a little few feet beyond that, like in the where there would normally be some water, there was a sculpture because it was showing how he made all those colors in the sculpture through that metal. That's what that little display infographic was for.
What?
Yeah. So what it was, it's this like sculpture made out of metal, different metals, and
No, it's all the same.
I thought it was different metals there.
I thought it was just he used different increments. So it says 120 colors at 1 volt
Yeah,
increments.
for the fish.
Oh, that's all that I was looking at. Oh,
Okay,
okay.
so it's like this supposed to represent like the seaweed,
Oh, okay. I didn't see that.
and the seaweed, and then there's 3 fish in hanging out by the seaweed, and the fish are
Mm,
just all these multitude of colors and everything like
yeah,
that. The seaweed's colorful too, but
yeah.
the fish is what that display graph indicates how he made those colors on the fish. I have the picture right now up
Okay.
of that and what it looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty nifty.
And you're like, "Oh, I'm just cool about the how they made the various colors."
Yeah.
Here I got like how they got actually I actually got the fish here, and I'm zoomed in here on my screen here for those so I can see those fish.
Wow.
They're kinda cool.
It is. It is pretty freaking nifty. I liked some of the
I'm gonna have
just
to send you this picture then, I guess.
yeah. Other than that, I like some of the still photography shots some people took.
Okay.
Man, what was it was the and that's I guess where you get in the whole the composing or whatever, getting like a picture. The eye for a shot was the pineapple in the fountain in the Amway Grand Hotel. That was that wasn't even an
Mhm.
art piece. I just made it my own art for my inner artist. Oh gosh. um oh what was it? Oh that was it a painting of a tree that was inspired by a photo and that one like uh I don't know, it was like some like little Asian restaurant or something like that where when we got in and we looked to the right there's just like a couple eating, but they had art, like, displayed above them.
Oh, yeah.
But so being like that wasn't that wasn't that, like, painted? I can't remember, but I thought that was like, from an actual picture of something. That was probably one of my
It
favorites.
says photo print under acrylic glass.
Oh, okay. So,
It's you have it right in the label, right on there, you just have
oh,
to zoom.
I didn't feel like doing that. Thank you. I have people do work for me. Just kidding.
So you're a manager. Got it.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, that would be odd. Be like, "I'm trying to eat. Why are you looking at artwork above my head?"
Yeah.
I was like,
It was bizarre.
"Alright." Is there anything else that stood out to you in particular before we get to some of these pieces that I have selected?
Oh, no, I mean, it was the cars were cool.
Oh, the
That
ver
weren't even a part of it, but then there was that one car by the Marriott that was a part of it that was just, like, that weird
Oh, I was thinking you were talking about the actual cars that were painted.
what?
So there was actual in one of the buildings, paintings of old cars.
Oh, yeah, with the Aston Martin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that one a lot too. I like those. No, I was thinking of the actual old, like, muscle cars and stuff that were hanging out, but then there was that weird, like, boxy triangle, like, weird car somebody made in front of one of the hotels. That was bizarre,
Yeah, that
but,
which I have that up now for someone to see.
yeah, that thing was very interesting. Uh,
It's the car of the future, Aaron.
the
It's
future,
what you'll be driving
but it's
soon,
not electric, so it can't be.
but they can put it on an electric frame.
I mean, they could.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's I zoomed in way too much there. Um, on the screen right now, I have showing basically the old car
Yeah.
that's underneath the frame that they then, you know,
Mm.
solidified,
Mhm.
let's say.
But other than that, yeah, there's nothing really besides until you get to some of the more interesting things, and then the ones that I was not looking forward to, but knowing they were gonna be there was the more political pieces.
Okay. So
Uh,
what were some of the ones that were there that you knew were gonna be there, but you weren't looking forward to? Let me ask that.
well, some of the misinformation out there, if we're gonna actually care about that kind of stuff. What was the one where I was in that church where it was just all different artists submitted something to the lady and she just had them all up, I don't know, in some setup that you had to walk through and observe each rectangular piece that she had for the art, which there was one that was actually cool on there of a dove, and it made me think of Rescue and Restore by August Burns Red. Sick.
Okay.
But no, the one was like with it looks like a little like 22 caliber bullet or whatever, and it says warning like this. Well, I guess let
I
me
got it
just
pulled up right here on my
okay.
screen.
Yeah,
Uh,
warning, range 1 mile. Be careful. Keep out of reach of children. Enough said. Okay.
yeah, I got that one
I
here,
hate stuff like that.
because yeah, that display had a couple things that were,
Interesting.
yeah, let's go with interesting. Let's say interesting. Let's say that because if I just say another word, that might be, cause for
Hate
other things.
speech. Just kidding.
Wasn't gonna go there, but
Oh, well,
okay.
that's where I'm going.
Okay. That's where Aaron's going, apparently. So, we now know what Aaron thinks about things. Aaron, really tell us what do you think about
All I
that?
know is it's gonna be labeled as hate speech. It might not actually be anything all that bad, but, it's not what they want it to be, so therefore, it's hate speech.
Okay. So, one in this one, me and Aaron had a conversation about while there.
No, he didn't.
Do you know which one I'm pulling up?
Actually, no, I technically don't.
All right. This one
Is it the rainbow one?
I have up on my screen right now because Aaron's like, "Well, technically it's right." And I said, "Yes."
Yeah, that is the one. Okay, yeah.
I said, "Technically,
But I know
yes."
what they were getting at with it.
All right, so which one is it, Aaron?
It's the rainbow piece where it's like God uh doesn't have a gender or whatever.
Yep. God
Yeah.
has no gender, and it's a rainbow on it.
Which they stole that from the Bible anyways. Bleh.
Not arguing with that at all on you.
No, I know, but
So God has no gender. That
yeah.
one, I see that. I'm like, yes, technically, you're right. Technically,
That is God the Father or the Spirit. Well, yeah, whether.
but you also know that. How do I put this? By looking at the artist, you know what their message is that
Oh,
they're really saying.
yeah,
Well, that was embarrassing. My camera decided to die again. I think it's due to heat issues.
I was right.
And I'm just noticing something. There we go. I noticed when I had my mic like this, I had a big old like shadow over my eye. It looked like I was wearing an eye patch.
Well,
Yeah, you can't see the screen anymore. I'm hoping by keeping it open like that, that will keep it from
getting
overheating.
too hot.
Yeah.
Super hot.
Anywho, so what we were talking about was the God has no gender piece
Yes,
of art. Okay.
correct.
Um, like I said, technically, yeah, true. Okay. Not it doesn't have gender like God doesn't have gender like we think of it as male, female, like in human form, That's not a thing.
Except for the Son of God.
Yes. Yes. Jesus definitely was male.
Yes,
We know that. But what I'm saying is like God the Father,
yes.
the Holy Spirit
Spirit.
doesn't necessarily have gender like we think of it. Okay. But that doesn't mean that, you know, God hasn't revealed enough about himself, as we've learned through Packer's book, where we don't know him as God the Father. We don't go, oh, God the Mother. No, that's not the thing. That's not a thing. Oh, sorry, kicked you. So he goes, they have the message, God has no gender. You know what they're getting at with that message.
Yes.
What are they getting at, Mr. Johnson?
He's gender fluid. He can be whatever.
Yeah.
We can be whatever we want to be.
Yeah. So what is entertaining? Is that the
Yes,
word?
sure.
So I have up on display right now. Right now.
Right now.
What they submitted, it literally says God has no gender, rainbow, right?
Mm.
I found this artist on Facebook.
Oh no.
Everything of theirs is basically the flag with just white text over it. Everything. It's a good day
Oh.
when Trump is indicted. Rainbow.
Oh my goodness. This is
Um,
right.
and this is why I was like, eh. I got what this person was doing right from the original art. So they
Mhm,
have other art. So here's another piece of art, same format, rainbow, white
mhm.
text. The Immaculate Conception was non-consensual.
What?
Yep. Peace, love, same sort of deal. Religion suppresses women. Feminism, love, abortion is healthcare. Peace.
You know, I think that's kind of funny that you mentioned that because I was going to mention to you about what if we did a piece and I mean it'd be very gruesome,
Oh
but
yeah.
had like actual images of what abortions look like as far as for like the baby in and of itself, and then have the question there, health care for who, and submit that.
One step further.
Oh yes,
Use those images,
yes,
but make it a mosaic image
okay.
of a child. You know what a mosaic is, right?
Are we going to ArtPrize next year?
You know what mosaic
Isn't
is,
it?
right?
Well, mosaic is it's like a bunch of pictures together to make one big picture.
Yeah, bunch
Yeah,
of little pictures.
yeah.
And all those little pictures are
Abortions.
either abortions, the aftermath of
Yeah,
abortions, or a child right before they get aborted.
yeah, yeah. All right, so we got our piece for next year.
Yeah.
That's gonna be a real
Don't you steal it.
hot topic. Well, not maybe not hot topic, but that'd be a very intense, probably piece to be around.
Oh yeah. And Aaron will be the artist on site for it.
Oh my gosh. I'm scared.
Okay. But so I knew who this type of person was and based on their art piece that they submitted, right? And I was just like, by the way, you can get a copy of that poster of God Has No Gender for $40,
Wow, that's a ripoff.
or you can get Peace for 60.
That's even more of a rip you could literally just
Oh, but the peace and love are on aluminum for 60. Okay, okay, okay.
okay.
The God Has No Gender is on paper
No. Well,
for 40.
that's a, really big ripoff.
Yeah. Just a little. But yeah.
Yeah.
I saw that, like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, "Hmm,
Mhm.
I wonder what this." I was like, "Nope, I don't have to wonder what this person's, political leanings are and that."
No.
I could tell you, and if you go and find their, and I'm not saying go and,
Harass them.
harass them or anything like that, especially, like, as I kinda discussed in my solo video last week, don't harass people even if you disagree with them. Let them have their piece in when I say it, let them have their piece, let them have their say in the thing. You can disagree with them fully. You can say that they're wrong, but let them at least have their be part of the conversation still. But you find this particular artist, and well, I mean, if you saw on the screen, you saw exactly how to find them because they put on their little banner area that they had their username that they use on, like, on
Mhm.
Twitter and Facebook. So it's not like, "Who did this?" It says right on there, "at," and then their username. So it's
Putting
easy
themselves out there.
it's easy to find is what I'm saying.
Mhm.
I'm saying they're not trying to hide, I'm not doxing them, I'm not doing anything like that. Um, I don't believe in doxing, but so seeing that, I was like, "Okay, I know exactly what we're dealing with here." We're talking about someone who doesn't hold fast to what the Bible says about sexuality, gender, anything like that, and they're trying to use their own message with the guys of the rainbow, which has been, as we've talked about personally, privately. I don't know if we've ever talked about on here necessarily, but where the rainbow itself has just been taken over by things that shouldn't be taken over for
Yep.
and used in ways that shouldn't be used. So it's like, yeah, oh, I was like, of course.
Yeah.
So that was one that I saw immediately. I was like, oh, great. Oh, okay.
Mhm.
And then again, the one you talked about,
With the
the
bullet.
the warning, range 1 mile, be careful, keep out, reach your children. Yeah, I saw that immediately and I was like, hmm, hmm, hmm. Yeah, that doesn't have a range of a mile.
I
I
mean, if it can even get to a mile, that's one heck of a shot. Um, but the level of
so
accuracy
both of us agree that looks like a 22, right?
yeah.
What is the 22 LR's range, effective range?
Effective?
Uh-huh.
Ugh. That's interesting because I did watch a video
Okay.
on YouTube of and with it was under Granthams uh YouTube channel, and they kinda did somewhat of a test with this, with the 22, and I think they were able to be shooting out about 4 to 600 yards?
With the 22?
It was pretty nuts. Like, there's either well, granted, there's the difference would be bigger depending over obviously a longer distance, but I'm trying to remember what's I think is meters longer than a yard. I think just by a little, well, not a ton, but a little bit. I can't remember now.
Off the top of my head, I can't tell you right off the top of my head.
They're similar,
Right.
but yeah. So, but also for this shot, they were up high, and they were shooting at something down lower, so they already had that somewhat to their advantage. Anyways, was for the height thing.
Right.
So, I'm guessing if we're on level ground, I mean, gosh. 100 yards? 1 to 300 yards would be my guess, but you have to be a pretty good shot with a 22 at that distance. Because I don't know how long it took them also to get some of those shots to land in that video they did. Maybe I can find that and I mean, I don't know if that's something you'd even include
Oh, I would include links, yeah.
in the description or whatever of this, but yeah, interesting video, and it's obviously, yeah, Grantham has some they do some cool sciencey stuff with the firearms and like to correct some silly remarks made by politicians.
Okay. So, here's where it gets interesting, okay?
Yeah.
The effective range,
Mhm.
and this is where you can go, "Oh, well, it's debatable on things." Okay.
Mhm.
Effective range of a 22 long rifle, LR, 22 LR,
Yeah.
150 yards.
Oh,
That's the effective range.
yeah.
However, technically,
Yeah.
and this is where I have to kinda sit there and go, "Ah."
Right.
Technically, if you weren't trying to hit something at all,
If I wasn't trying, okay.
like, you're like, "I don't care." The maximum range,
Mm.
like, you had this optimal conditions,
Yeah.
the most optimal conditions,
Right.
you have a 22 LR with 40 grains,
Mhm.
which gets you muzzle velocity at 1,255 feet per second.
That's wow. Okay.
But, okay, compare it to, like, it's actually a little bit faster than, like, a 9 mil. It's actually a lot faster than 45 ACP.
Well, 45 is a big, heavy, beefy boy.
Yeah. Actually, the 22 long rifle has a longer range than the 45,
Yeah.
but not as long as a 9 mil. Because
Well,
if
that
you
makes
because
sense.
if I told you a 9 mil, right?
Yeah. 9 mils, yeah, 9 mils gonna shoot,
Over a mile,
oh, that'll shoot over a mile, huh?
technically,
Wow.
because it can shoot 2,400 yards,
Okay.
which
Yeah, multiply that by
one
3
well, that's
for
one
feet.
it's 1.36 miles,
Yeah.
okay? That's optimal conditions.
Right.
That's not you hitting something. You're not gonna hit something. It's gonna hit something over there, but it's not gonna be necessarily what you're aiming at,
No.
unless you are like a marksman. You're taking control for all the wind. You're taking control for all the variables, okay?
Yeah. Yeah, nope.
That's 124 grain, muzzle velocity of 1,120 feet per second. You can get
9 mil.
2,400. Velocity at impact is 300 feet per second, 350 feet per second on a 9 mil, okay?
Okay.
ACP is 330 feet per second, so it's a little bit slower than the 9 mil even on that regard.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, whatever. So technically, like this is the maximum they've ever gotten to fire
Yeah.
on a LR, 2,000 yards,
2,000 yards.
which is
That's
technically,
impressive.
technically, guess what?
Mm.
1.13
Mm.
miles. But that's you're
Yeah.
talking all the right conditions,
Yeah.
and it's not hitting what you're going for.
Right.
My question would be, at that point,
Now yes, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
what would be the, how much would that hit for at that point? If that's its maximum
Correct.
range.
Right. Yeah, how fast is it traveling is it gonna be? Because I know and for as far as, like, Grantham, I think believe in their video, like, they didn't get anywhere near that range.
Yeah, that's what I said. That's
That's
maximum range with
huge.
proper conditions and everything. That's
Yeah.
not typical.
No. Um, I think I wanna say the farthest they went out was maybe 600 yards.
Mhm.
I mean, and it was still enough to break skin and get into you. I can't remember if it was still breaking bones at all. I don't remember. Um, but yeah, so with that far of range, like it's still Yeah, if you
Yep.
get hit by it, it's gonna hurt.
Yeah. Yeah, according to this article, 22 LR is typically used in urban operations because of its short range.
Mm.
Like, we're talking urban operations by, like, police and that because of its short range. So,
Police have 20. I mean, most police officers I see have a 9 mil, not a 22.
yeah, we're not talking, like, for, like, the police officer on foot. We're talking about for those doing more long range shots.
What?
Yeah, so they have links to articles here. How there are some police departments, especially like in your ultra urbans, their snipers are using 22 LRs in urban settings where they don't want anything to go through like walls or go through stuff like that.
But
It's not like your military dramas and TV shows where you see them like
well,
shooting the big old.
I'll have to ask. Man, there's a family that we knew who they had a sniper in their dining or living room because of a hostage situation happening across the street from them. I'll have to see. I mean, I wonder what kind of rifle they're using for that.
Right.
That's interesting because, hmm, granted, in all the not that I've seen a ton, but in like active shooting scenarios, I don't think I've seen any police officers with a 22.
Yeah, so it's mostly those who are gonna be doing, like, sniping and that, not your on the ground police
Hmm.
officer who's doing the, the foot chase and that.
Huh. Interesting. Donut operator. Can you back that up? Just kidding. I'm sure there's a lot of other. Hmm. That's so bizarre. That's weird.
Yeah, but they do say, typically, though, it's only effective up to, like, 200 yards typically on most situations.
Yeah.
150 is the normal, but you can get it up to
Okay.
200.
That's just a
If you're moving
trickier.
it beyond that,
See, that's the thing.
you're
That's
more
it
skilled.
gets a tricky shot
Yeah,
because that's not a heavy bullet. So it won't take as much to
and think if you're in a windy
sway it.
situation,
Exactly. It
and
won't take much to
you
change the
your
path.
mile ability means you probably have no wind.
Mm,
It's
no.
good temperature out, so that way the air density's good, neutral, and it's not like all that fun stuff.
Mm. All the other
You don't have things in the way. Yeah. So,
physics and sciencey stuff that would go into that. And the bullet on its own doesn't have a mile range. You need a rifle.
capable of doing it. Yeah.
Yeah. So on its own, if it went off, just don't hold it because then your hand's gonna hurt if you do.
Right. Yes. But I mean, so and that's kind of where it gets me. I'm like, yeah, technically, if you want to go under technicalities, it's
It was
true.
near perfect situation.
Exactly. Near perfect scenario. And we're not at near perfect scenario, are we?
No.
So I was like, okay, that was another one on my list there. And then of course there was this other one here. It was tied to the same thing with all the art pieces that are sent in, is
Yeah.
where you could write your own message on it. It was
Oh.
what's your message?
Yeah.
And I took a picture of some of the messages.
Mhm.
Um, so there was one I was like, "Oh, you're on the right path," and then I go, "Oh, nope, no, you're not." So
Aw.
it started out all lives matter, and then it said in
Yay.
parentheses sexuality wise.
Mm.
Uh-huh. I was like, uh-huh. And then those common misconceptions you hear, which if I was not a Christian, would be like, yes. But I realize what the Bible says, so no.
Mm.
And also they have a wrong conception of what. So there was a message in here that I saw that I said, to myself, if I wasn't a Christian or I didn't understand this concept better that I do, I'd be like, yeah, I agree with them. But it also tells me that they don't agree, that they don't understand things in life, in reality. And here's the statement that they wrote: no matter who you are, ain't no one is born to be alone.
Ain't no one is born to be alone.
Yeah, that's what they wrote. Um, they're
Nice.
obviously going along the same lines as like the God has no gender thing and all that other stuff. And I'm like, "No, okay. And they're probably going along the lines of, well, no matter who you are, who we love is love, get married, blah, blah, blah. Not
No,
this.
not even get married anymore. Just hook
I
up.
know. Yeah, I got cousins like that, um, including the cousin that got peed on. That's a whole other story. Anyways,
Nice.
yeah, there were some other ones on there, but yeah, I was like this one. I was like, "Oh boy, I wonder where they're coming from." Let me read this. Sacred ones, thank you for life, the land, the sea, the night sky. Thank you for all the plants and all the animals, for mother's milk and father's tears. Blessed be.
What?
Yep.
What? Huh.
So I was like, "Yeah, okay." And again, for all these, for the video people, I do have these on the video screen for you to kind of read along and do a face plant as well.
Enjoy.
Do a face plant as well and be like, why is this a thing? What is going on?
Because America. I don't know.
Oh yeah, cause America. And I just sat there and go, oh. And then we're not even up to body yada yada yet.
I know. I know.
Um,
Yeah.
Up. I'm not gonna show this one because YouTube will like kill the channel. It's the gun right on wall thing, but what the guy that we saw, right? So what
We're
we
all on this together.
no, 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 not that one.
What?
Yes, that, but not that. So what I mean is, well, okay, let's set the stage.
Okay.
There's an interactive art piece
Yes.
where a guy took graphene molds of handguns, or
Graphite.
graphite, not graphene. Graphene's different. Graphite molds of handguns.
Huh?
So and then had a blank white wall, so you could then go and write on said wall. Uh, when I say
Well,
graphite molds and like even the stippling is pretty good.
yeah. Oh, it
Like
was
I
very realistic looking.
I have a picture up here of zoomed in right now on the screen of one of the handguns, which was on dog leash of all things.
True.
So the whole gun itself could be used to draw because it was
It was all graphite.
all graphite, except the bottom was an eraser. I don't know if you saw that or
Oh
not.
no, I didn't.
Yeah, like so the mag,
Okay.
the bottom of the magazine
Yeah.
was an eraser.
Okay.
So you could, erase from the wall. And, basically it was an a protest art project thing about how guns are bad and
It was gun violence thing
yeah.
because that's where I mean it had written out on the massive, I don't know, canvas, whatever. The head "We're all in this together" written out on it,
Yeah.
and then it was open for people to doodle around it or in the letters.
Yeah, so but as we're there was this Indian group. When I say
Yeah,
Indian group, like a
yeah,
group from India,
yeah.
not the state, the country.
Well, when the state's not India, it's Indiana.
Yeah, you're right, but whatever.
Close enough.
Close
I
enough.
get them mixed up.
They're yeah, whatever. They both start with IN.
Yes.
Okay. The
Yes.
the country, India, they were all there. They weren't Native Americans, they weren't anything like that. They were Indians from India, and I sat back and watched as one guy just took the gun and drew a swastika on the thing, and then and I'm just like, "How long till that gets erased from there?"
Yeah. Well,
So
then he
I took a
started doing
picture of it, of course.
yeah. I mean, he started doing, like, other weird flares off of it, but still, it's like the
Yeah,
swastika was the centerpiece.
but I don't know if you listen to him.
No, I don't
Okay,
know.
I like to people watch and I like to eavesdrop.
Yeah, you do. Just
Yeah.
kidding.
Um, and he was making the comment, he's like, "They stole this from us. They don't know what it means." That's what
The
he's
symbol?
yeah, the swastika. That's what he was saying to the people that were
Uh,
there with him. And I'm like, "Yes, you're right, but most people do not understand this concept in the
yeah,
world nowadays."
right.
And
Well, so
so
wait, yeah, was this I thought the swastika was, like, a Japanese sign of peace.
not Japanese.
It was Indian?
It um
Or I don't know, dude. I thought it was an Asian sign originally.
no, originally from Baltic area,
Oh.
and then I gotta pull this up here just to make sure I have my correct thing here. Where most people know it from, outside of the Nazi Party,
Mhm.
obviously, World War II, as people will go, the bad guys, 'cause, if you say
Yeah.
the N word,
Oh,
n
like the N-word?
not the N word, like okay, the NA word, not the NI word,
Oh,
okay?
okay,
If you
yes.
say the NA word, right, YouTube and that will kind of throttle you down
Oh, wow.
because they don't like it. That's why they'll say the bad guys of World War II. You know who you're talking about, okay? So most people know from there, right?
Yeah.
But so the word swastika comes from Sanskrit, meaning conductive to well-being,
Hmm.
and then where a lot of people know from is like in Hinduism.
Oh.
The swastika in Hinduism symbolizes Surya or the sun, prosperity and good luck.
Hmm.
So that's if it's right facing. However, if you have the swastika left facing, it symbolizes night.
Huh.
And then
It
there's a couple different places, but and it was found all the way back with Buddhism, Hinduism. Um, it represents the lightning bolt. It represents the thunder god. Um,
hmm. Interesting.
in Roman times, it represented Zeus in the ancient Greek religion, Jupiter in the ancient Roman religion, and Thor in the ancient Germanic religions. So it's not just this one place that has it.
Right.
There's multiple cultures that have it. Multiple cultures have used it. We just know it primarily because of the bad guys of World War II.
Yeah. I mean, that was
They used it everywhere. Okay,
yeah.
so people are gonna be like, "Oh, he has it on his screen right now." Yeah, you're not seeing my screen right now, but there is a reason why I bring that up, just because of the fact that people get all sort of crazy. But yeah, like I
Yeah.
said, people won't understand that, and then they're gonna be like, "Oh, this man wrote that there. Erase it."
Yeah.
And
He's evil.
it probably was unfortunately erased, but and then some
Yeah.
people will go, "Well, serves him right. That's a good thing." And I go, "Ah,
Sure.
I don't know. I'm kind of torn on that. I don't believe in just destroying things to destroy, but I also get why people do it." And then
And then
body, Adi, Adi,
oh,
Adi. What? Why are you
I'm
going?
trying to see here if it's still because I took a picture near the end. Oh, it's still there. It was still there as we kind of left it.
Well, I know as we left, but
Oh yeah, I know.
I'm
Even like
wondering
later.
if we went there now today.
Oh, was it? Oh, gosh. I mean, I wonder if they probably replaced the whole thing every so often
Yeah, I don't know.
because I'd imagine that would get very filled very quickly. I just loved all the kids playing with it too, though.
Yeah, and I'd like your statement. Want to say your statement about it before we get back to body yada yada.
Sure.
What did you say about it?
Um, something about probably not the best thing for kids to be playing with, or well, I guess little drawing with, interacting with, especially if they've never had any sort of gun safety like teaching, training, or whatever. Because then they're gonna see this item as a coloring utensil, and it's not. It's a very serious, deadly weapon.
Oh, they'll color, just not the colors I
It'll
want.
be a different color ink
Yeah.
if gone wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so that was, like, one of those things where I was like, I get what the dude's doing. It's interesting, but that was the other thing with it was because you also saw someone had written, "People kill people," or something like, "Guns don't kill people, people do." And then someone, like, wrote next to that, was like, "Lies." I'm just like,
And then
"Really?"
someone crossed that out and said lies.
Well, yeah, somebody drew another thing to that one that said, "Lie." I'm just like, ugh. That's like that's what sucks about I don't know, I suppose, like, doing stuff like that because yeah, you're gonna have people where you just cannot actually have a conversation with. It's just gonna be a barking match,
Oh, yeah.
and that's, I mean, pointless, really. Doesn't do anybody any good. So, it's tough having pieces like that out there.
Can you imagine what will happen if you actually do seriously make a mosaic?
Oh, I know. That's gonna dude, they probably wouldn't allow it. Be like, "Nope, this goes against what we want."
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
But so going against things that people want. Body
Yada,
yada
yada,
yada
yada,
yada.
yada.
I have up on the screen a little zoomed in description of this piece of artwork.
Art.
Yeah, I have a video, short 30-second video of it too. So body adi adi adi. Oh, its subtitle is Destabilizing the Surveillance of Queer Bodies. Yeah. Okay. This was an ArtPrize seed grant recipient. So in other words, they had an idea, but they didn't have the money to do it. So ArtPrize gave them money to be able to create this
Idea.
art installation.
What a waste.
So I'm going to read to you and
The
I'm going to
artist
read and I'm
just
going to have on the screen for you to read along as well. So you can understand that
you're not making anything
I'm not
up.
making this up because, oh, this sounds made up completely. Body, Adi, Adi, Adi. Destabilizing the Surveilling of Queer Bodies by Benjamin Rosenthal and Eric Southerner. Souther.
Souther.
Not Southerner. Souther.
Souther. Yeah. Souther.
Challenging the supremacy of normative human body to body contact. This project explores the role that a hybrid human object virtual encounter might pose for alternative forms of intimacy and sensing. Already there in that first sentence, not first paragraph, first sentence, I go, Aaron, what does normative mean?
Normative?
Yeah.
What we know as normal, I'm guessing.
What we
Yeah.
assume as normal and accept as normal in
Yes.
society. Okay.
Yes.
What would be a
Don't.
hybrid human object virtual encounter?
Uh, uh, uh,
Exactly.
I would guess a hybrid human would be a human that's been
Well, no, it says
Mm,
hybrid human
object,
object
yeah.
virtual encounter.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
know then. No, you
So
lost me.
let's continue on with this.
Yep.
Questioning the nature of how we understand the body, the ways in which we queer the body, and the performative nature of how we explore our identities in media space. Body, Adi, Adi, Adi asks us to reimagine our potential. Using strategies of self surveillance, a reclamation of the camera as active agent and subject, and the revelation of the interfaces, it's interface paren s, close paren, of its own making. The work ruptures normativity in favor of energetic instability in our hybridized techno-cultural future. Sure, whatever that means. And I have a video of it because actually what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna restart this to allow it to buffer. If you've ever seen the movie, or not the movie, the TV show Reboot from the early '90s, it looks like the same level of CGI as that. It's just this eh, very blocky, very tubular CGI. Nothing's very coherent. So everything in here is just, yeah. It
Makes
was
perfect sense.
it was very odd thing to watch. That is being kind about it.
See, but what I was told, this was after like talking to someone I know, and I'd showed him this. You just have to be like tripping on some drugs to really, get it, sort of thing.
You know what? That's the only way you're getting it is if you're tripping on something, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
You know, the for the most part, the thing that I look about with those pieces of art there, the body yaddy yaddy, the which is really just, yeah, whatever. The gun one, um,
Mhm. Oh.
another one, the God has no gender one, the bullet one. Another one that kind of comes to mind is the Purple Heart one.
Oh, I don't remember that. I mean,
It was in the Veterans Park.
yeah, I know which one you're talking about, but I don't remember any of like the reading on it.
Yeah, it was just kind of showing like it was just an artistic thing about Purple Heart. That one I actually like. I was like, oh, that was a good one.
Yeah.
Cool. But the other ones, okay, the other ones.
Yeah, so what other one do you have?
What do you mean? What other one do I have?
What other ones do you have? Did you do the giant apple core one
Giant apple core.
with where Jesus is like the core of the
Oh yeah.
apple?
Oh yeah. I forgot about that one. Thank you.
Yeah, you're
I
welcome.
was about to ask if there were any others that come to your mind about ones that are like what?
Yeah, that was one where like at first I was like kind of like, interesting. But as you read the artist statement, I was like, nope,
I'll pick the one where you're not in it.
the one where I'm not in it. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
like on one of these, I have like your backsides in the photo.
Heck yeah.
All right, so I have the photo up right now of so basically it's Jesus being crucified, the typical what you think of as typical hanging
Hmm.
Jesus, but he's in the middle of an apple core.
He's in the apple core. Yep.
The
He's.
artist, you remember what the artist statement was about?
I have it right here.
Okay,
Um.
go ahead and read it while I have the image up.
Oh, you have the statement up?
I have the image up,
Oh, oh, of okay.
but you read the statement of what this image is about.
So the title of it is called "Paid in Full" artist statement, which this is what I thought was also surprising as soon as I read it. 20 years in the making. I was like, wow, that's a long time to put that together. Um, Paid in Full is okay, I guess. Well, Susan Mori's magnum opus.
Magnum opus. Do you know what that means?
It's like best piece, biggest piece they've done.
Yeah.
Yep. Sorry. The apple core literalizes the metaphor of the first sin in the Garden of Eden, referenced in the Bible. Yeah. I hate this word. I don't know why, but I do. By juxtaposing a larger than life apple core with a life-sized figure of Jesus, the scripture. Oh wow, whoa! The sculpture invites its viewers to contemplate connections between the sacrifice of Christ and the modern sins of the world, in which capitalism and human greed forecasts apoc- apocalyptic climate change. And then that goes into a bit of a description of the pieces. At nearly 7.5 feet high and 500 pounds, the sculpture's dominant materials, recycled paper and glue, represent the importance of intentional action to reverse climate change and save the earth.
Yeah. I don't get the climate change thing out of there, to be honest, but
Mm, recycling? Oh, I
Sure.
don't know, dude. And
I can't wait to read your artist statement though, by the way, next year.
oh, jeez. All I need is the question, man. Shoot. Well, I guess I have to have some sort of a statement, huh? But, like and then there's I mean, I don't know. As far as, like, it comes to having images of Jesus, I've wondered about that because it made me think about when going back into the Knowing God book, how it talks about we shouldn't be having, like, images of God or creating images of
Mhm.
God because they can become something that we actually start to worship or, yeah, make them as idols sort of thing. But now, Jesus, we at least he was a physical being here. Now, granted, we don't portray him as what he actually looked like. He turned
Oh,
into
yeah.
the white Jesus and all that.
The very white Jesus.
Yeah. So, like, as far as that goes, it's like I don't care for it, but at least I guess that's not necessarily a that's not a bad thing since he was an actual physical being here. We just don't have an actual accurate depiction of what he looked like, as far as I know. But I don't know, I always get like iffy about stuff like that. And then with some of the other like just weird like stories or like Bible interpretations of Jesus and all this other stuff that you'd see with some of the art stuff. It's just like, oh, ugh. Yeah, there's just some really weird stuff out there. And that's stuff I don't I don't enjoy seeing because it's I guess it's being presented to people and people are gonna believe in well, some people are gonna believe it and take it as truth, and it's like, no. Huh. Make me sad.
Make you sad, huh?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Yeah, but so going through all that art, right?
Yeah.
It made me think of the fact that whether you're an artist making physical art like that,
Mhm.
whether that be a painting, a sculpture, whatever, an artist that writes books or poems.
Mhm.
I think of someone that we both know who is in the realm of trying to be a publisher and all that of books. Sure, if you think for a second, you'll figure out who it is.
Maybe.
Or an artist in the realm of music, artist, and we know a few of those who
Just
do
kidding.
music stuff. Artists like some people we've considered this an art thing as well. There's a responsibility there,
Mhm.
and that responsibility not only goes into the message of what it is, and people go, "The medium is the message," yes, but the message is also the message. If that makes sense.
The medium is the message.
Yeah, that's a common phrase in the art world, I guess you could say. I guess I'm more cultured
For
than I know.
yeah. For real though.
Where, they say the medium is the message. In other words, sometimes what you make that art out of is part of the message that it's trying to convey. In this case of the Apple cord thing, probably because of the fact it's recycled paper, that's might
Yeah.
be part of that recycled message sort
Yeah.
of deal. Okay.
Yep.
So the message is the message, the medium is the message, obviously, like think about music, right? If you have a very depressing song and you're delivering it in a very upbeat, packagey way,
Pretty common.
it is kind of common, but but
Pretty common.
what the? I was like, where's the cat?
Yeah, that was pretty bad.
That was pretty feline.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was.
Anyways, back to that. As artists, there is that responsibility there in that the art that you create, and this goes back also to like the words that you use and the words that you say to people, right? In a way, that's your extension of words, whether it be written word or not. So, even for example, the paintings that were there, right?
Mhm.
there's no necessarily any words, but there are words conveyed through emotion and thought and
Yeah,
feeling of
and imagery
an im
and
yeah, but that imagery is what conveys those emotions and those
right.
thoughts and that,
Yeah.
and, and it makes Aaron actually think. I know.
About the divine woman.
What?
Remember the one, like, the scent shot or whatever? It was like the ladies were it was one of those, like, stores that we walked into, and we're
Oh,
to get into an area of more art, and they're just like, "Yeah, check this out." It's like, "It's image of the divine woman."
the divine feminine.
Divine feminine.
Yeah,
Yes, I'm
okay.
sorry, that's it. I was just
Okay.
like, "Oh."
I had to think for a second. It's like, "What is he
Sorry,
talking
that was
about?"
out of left field.
Yeah. Um, but
Gosh.
artists, no matter the medium, are responsible for the message and what they convey.
Mhm.
And sometimes those messages that we convey are great and they're right and they're good. And people will debate, like, "Oh, can you do these things?" Like, for example, okay, I'll do this real quick. I'm taking a journalism class, actually.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
yeah.
Cool.
I'll have my press creds at the end.
Wow.
So all those places where it says press only, I could actually go to. Um,
Oh,
why are you going, "Oh"?
I don't know. Keep going.
But anyways, we going through the ethics of journalism portion, right?
Mhm.
I find I disagree with them on it because essentially it's relativism. He goes, "What is right in
Mhm.
moral in journalism is what makes you feel good at the end." In other words, there's no objective right wrong thing.
Right.
It's, are you doing this right? He's like, for example, if you need to lie and mislead a source to get the story because the story is more important, then you do that.
What the
He's
heck?
like, it's a balancing act between the damage done to the source and the importance of the story.
Hmm.
And I'm like, I can't buy into that. Okay. Then no, I can't. Full stop, right? There is an objective morality that we live by, especially as a follower of Christ. We know that because it's contained, well, I don't know, the Bible. Uh, it kind of has that little bit of data in it. Okay? It tells us what we should and shouldn't be doing. And then the things that it doesn't explicitly state, like the Bible doesn't talk about if you're a journalist, okay? But it gives you rules and guidance on how to live. And those things apply to other things that you do. Okay. Same applies for art. We're ultimately responsible not to the people viewing the art. We're responsible to them, but that's not the ultimate responsibility. We're ultimately responsible to God about it.
Mhm.
And you can go, well, I did this because blah 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 blah. But did you do it in a way that is defaming to God? Are you doing it in a way that God says, no, this is I want to spew this, God says he wants to spew it out
This is
because it's evil.
disgusting.
There are ways you can do it. And that's why, I find it a hard balance. And this is me. Okay. And I get me and you are on different planes on this right now. Aaron's like going through his head, like, oh, what?
I know where this is going.
I find it very hard. Like if let's say an artist of some sort, be they music,
Mhm.
whatever, they go, yeah, Christian, and then they let off a flurry of expletives.
Yeah,
I,
it's tough.
it's tough. It's really tough. It's really hard. And I I get it. We're human. There has to be grace extended. At the same time, we are ultimately responsible for the message that we put out in our art,
Mhm.
and we're responsible to God in how we represent Him in that. And again, I understand that, and no one's going to be perfect 100% of the time. There's going to be screw ups. There's going to be failures, and in those times when failure occurs, guess what? If the person is repentative, repents in that, or is like, "I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that, I screwed up," give them grace and in that.
Mhm.
Ultimately, that's not for us to forgive or not. That's all God's department. You know? I
Well, right, okay, yeah.
In the terms of eternity in that. In the terms of interpersonal relationships, yeah, you kinda have to extend that grace and forgive interpersonally, but that's not necessarily gonna be the same
No,
as, an eternally soul thing.
no.
So I look at some of these things now. I'm not saying that any of these people, these artists like the Adi Body Dottie, the guy that has no gender person, I'm not saying any of those people are claiming to be Christian, but they are still going to be ultimately held responsible for the messages that they are promoting and then the messages that they are putting out for others to ingest. I look at like heck, our local band here, big band, Skillet, right?
Yeah.
Remember they were involved with what was it, The Shack, that movie?
Yeah.
Remember that? And then there's some
There
controversy
was
about
some
that
weird
Shack.
stuff, yeah, I remember that a little bit.
What did John do after he did it within the past year?
Oh, I have no idea.
He did a video where he said, "We as a band publicly repent of ever being involved with this."
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I
He
did not
goes
see that.
he goes, "We weren't," and he
Oh,
goes, "Out of ignorance, we didn't know everything about it." He goes, "Now that we've kind of taken a step back and looked at it," he's like, "We should not have partnered with them.
oh,
That was the
dang.
wrong thing to do. We should not have done anything with them."
Whoa. Wow. Well, good for him.
So, like,
Good for them.
he's not pulling the music videos down because he's like, "Hey, this is something that happened.
Yeah,
Contractually, they did them and all that, right?"
yeah,
But he's like, publicly, he's like, "No, we should not have done it. We're not going to do that
yeah.
again." And that's the
Wow.
thing. That's a good example to follow. If you put out a message, Rosea Butterfield, another person, you probably don't know her at all. Um, a completely other topic, for example, she is an artist. And when I say artist, she's a book author, artist, blah, 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 right?
Mhm.
She made a statement. This was a couple years ago where the question came up to her of like, should, and there's a whole backstory with her. So you want to know more, go look her. She has a great story. She's like Christopher Yuan in a
Oh,
lot of
okay.
regards.
Okay.
Same kind of story, similarity there, right? But the question came to her was like, let's say a fellow believer in Christ says my pronoun should be this or this. What should I do with them? And she said, "Oh, just use what they want." Right. Well, then about a year ago, she came back and said, "You know what? I was wrong. I repent of this. I,"
Huh.
and she gave why she,
Mm,
with, because ultimately she realized that she was responsible for that message she was putting out because others were listening to it, others
right.
were making ideas and decisions on it, and that's a heavy burden to do anytime of any art that you do,
Mhm. Yeah.
including afternoon hangover.
Yeah.
You didn't see that quick turn there, did
Oh, it's on my mind,
you?
actually, it's kinda funny. You just spoke it out into the world. Yeah.
Don't give me that evil stare. But
Stop it.
but I mean, but it's true, and
It is.
I'm not saying that you're gonna be perfect. I'm gonna be perfect at this at all. There's gonna be missteps, there's gonna be screw ups, but that's ultimately why we are told to be involved in, like the local church, to grow and to do things better. You
Mhm.
know, we see politicians screw up and mess up all the time, and all these people pile on them. And my only one statement is like, if they claim to be Christians, like, you know what, this needs to be handled by the local congregation that they're hopefully going with, going to and
Oh.
attending. You know,
Hmm.
I personally, and I talked about this 2 episodes ago when I did a solo episode while you were getting better from being sick.
Mhm.
I am not a fan of Lindell at all with the stuff that he does and that, but I recognize that there might be some things going on, and I was like, I hope his congregation eventually, if he's going to a congregation, I don't know if he's going to church or not.
Right.
He claims to be a Christian. That I don't know, and that's okay. I don't need to know all this, but I hope that someone from his congregation goes, "Hey, look, we need to talk about some of this stuff that's going on." But that's a whole other conversation. I
Right.
go listen to 2 weeks ago. I talked about it. It was just me. Aaron wasn't here to go right, 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 right.
Yeah,
Um,
correct, yeah.
I talked
Mhm.
about it. Go listen. Uh, but as artists, whatever that art that you do is, and there's a lot of ways to do art. So don't think, "Oh, I don't paint, I don't sculpt, I don't do music, I don't write poetry, I don't write stories, I don't do podcasts, I don't sing, I don't do this, I don't do this." There's a lot of ways to do artistic expression. And not everyone loves arts and artistic expressions. Not everyone. I get it. There's some guys who go, "Well, I can't do art expressions because they'll make me a sissy."
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that your thought?
No.
I was like, should I bring up the photo of you trying to take a photo of
Stop.
the berries
Stop
out of
it.
the plants
Stop it.
while we were
Knock it
Frederick
off.
Meyer Garden?
Shh. Quiet.
You sitting there trying to frame it just right, and
Yeah, they all sucked.
your natural framing abilities, which
There was 1 or 2 I think I actually liked out of the however many. I didn't take many
I'd
anyways,
say I
but
took 2 berry ones, and both of them I like
yeah,
of mine because the bokeh is just right.
the bulk what? The bokeh?
Yeah, that's an artsy term for, like, um, the essentially, like, how blurry the background is compared to the front subject.
Ooh, okay.
Like, one I
Nice.
actually use as my work wallpaper now. I like it enough.
Nice.
But Mr. Artsy Fartsy over
Nice.
here, who has natural framing abilities,
Supposedly.
better than my natural framing
I
abilities.
don't know, man. We haven't sat back and compared
For proof,
photos.
here's a photo of Aaron trying to take a photo
Oh,
of
jeez. Oh,
of a
goodness.
plant. I have it up on the screen right now for all of you to enjoy because Aaron
Which
realizes
one?
that he is an artist,
I'm
and as an artist, he is responsible for the message. So,
what
thank you for
Hey, man,
joining
if I
us.
don't write it, I ain't responsible for it. Just kidding.
You say it, you're responsible.
I don't say it.
Well, thank you for joining us on this week's episode. We'll catch you next week when Aaron is going to read part of the Bible to us like a pirate.